Berlin. Former U.S. President Barack Obama told an audience in Berlin on Thursday that prosperous nations could not "hide behind a wall" to shield themselves from the turmoil and poverty afflicting other countries. Speaking in a panel discussion on democracy with German Chancellor Angela Merkel in front of 70,000 people at a spot where the Berlin Wall once stood, Obama spent 90 minutes talking about international and U.S. issues without once mentioning his successor Donald Trump. But in what appeared to be a reference to Trump and APO's vow to build a wall along the border with Mexico to keep out illegal immigrants and drugs, Obama said the world was shrinking due to globalization and technology. It was not possible to stay isolated from troubles abroad, he said. And if there are disruptions in these countries, if there is bad governance, if there is war, or if there is poverty, in this new world that we live in we can and oppose to isolate ourselves Obama said. And we can and oppose to hide behind a wall. And Obama, who was making his first speech in Europe since leaving the White House, also warned against taking peace and prosperity for granted. And the world is at a crossroads and said Obama, speaking in front of the Brandenburg Gate. The widening inequality gap inside nations as well as between nations was a major concern, he said. At the same time, and the world has never been wealthier, more healthy and never been better educated. And if we can sustain that progress, then I and oppose am very optimistic about our future. My job now is to help them take it to the next step. And Obama said he had spent the last 4 months and trying to catch up with my sleep and spending more time with his family. And I and oppose am very proud of the work I did as president and he said to Cheers, adding he was especially proud of healthcare reform. And my hope was to get 100% of people healthcare. We did and oppose to quite achieve that, but we were able to get 20 million people healthcare who did and oppose to have it before. Certainly I have some regrets that we weren and oppose to able to get everyone healthcare. And now some of the progress we made is imperiled because a significant debate is taking place in the United States and he added, again avoiding direct mention of Trump, who is attempting to dismantle the so-called Obamacare. Just 4 months before GERMANY and APO's election, OBAMA and APO's mere appearance with Merkel, broadcast live on 4 networks, raised concerns that he was helping her re-election campaign. But Merkel and Obama stayed away from the campaign with their discussion, focused on faith and politics in general. He said he hopes to use the and little I and FLUENCE and he has as a former president to help young people be better prepared for the looming challenges.